Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to my third Q&A video and the last Q&A video I'm gonna do for quite some time. I want to apologize because I really put off doing this video. I said I posted, I think I posted like the video where I said ask me questions like a week ago. So Happy New Year, by the way. Yeah, I was kind of feeling crappy the past few days and I just didn't feel like answering questions. So feeling better today. So I figured, figured I'd take care of that. But yeah, this is going to be the last one for a while. I don't know if I'm ever going to bring this kind of thing back. I like interacting with you guys, but the videos are kind of a bitch to render. So it can be kind of a chore sometimes. I mean, it's not. It's fun to answer these, but anyways, it's the last one. I made it easy on myself. I narrowed it down to 20 comments this time. So some of them contain multiple questions. So there's more than 20 questions, but yeah, I really narrowed it down. I want to get through this. Still not, like I said, feeling crappy the past few days. Not 100% today, but feeling better. But definitely up to answer these in a pleasant manner, you know. Don't want me to sit here and be all fucking grouchy as shit, you know. Don't want me to be like, question one, fuck you, you know. Want me to be nice and happy, yay! So, but, yep. So yep, basically same format as the last time. I'm going to go through all 20 of these comments and answer them individually. And we're going to have fun. Alright, let's go. Comment number 1. What happened to your hair? Also, who is your favorite abridger other than you? Why would you think I'm my favorite abridger? I fucking suck. Now, as for what happened, I'll answer the hair question first. Basically, I don't know, after I came back from, because I was in, like, Baltimore for, like, a year, I went to this art college, and that didn't end up working out, and so, but basically, for whatever reason, when I came, you want to add, you want to, oh, thank you, I'm sorry. No, Scruffy wants to talk. Oh, right. Is that it? Oh, yes. Anything else? Oh, you fucking whore. Just kidding. Just ignore him. If you can. My dog is loud. But basically, no. After I came back from Baltimore, I went through this phase where for like a year, I decided I was just going to grow my hair out super long and just kind of see what happened. Because I never really grown my hair out very long before. I'd always kind of had that really, like, stupid Justin Bieber cut for, like, pretty much the majority of my teen years. So I just thought, like, hey, you know, let's just see what happens. I was just kind of curious to see what happens, and I don't regret growing it super long, but I did learn after that year that long hair is kind of a bitch. It's kind of a bitch to take care of. It is a lot of responsibility that goes into trying to just do with it what you want to. Like, I have very wavy fucking hair, so my hair doesn't just go, when it grows long, it doesn't just go straight down. It goes, like, fucking everywhere, so, you know, I spent a shit ton of money on shampoo. It took me forever in the morning to deal with it. I don't know. Basically, after about a year of, I guess I grew my hair to a certain point where I'm like, okay, now I know what that's like. Time to never do this again. And cut off all my fucking hair. So I got my hair cut super short. And actually, it's getting too long for me. I need to go in and get it cut soon. So, I don't know. I kind of prefer having shorter hair. I mean, in terms of practicality, I spend significantly less money on shampoo. You know, I don't go through a whole fucking bottle every week. So it's just easier to, I don't even need to use a comb anymore. I just wake up, wash my hair, and this happens. So I like it. I like having short hair. But yeah, that was just kind of a thing I did for about a year. I don't regret growing my hair out. I wouldn't have known what it looked like, but now I do know, and now I don't give a shit to really do that again. And also, who is my favorite abridger? I mean, Little Karibo. Not because, I mean, I think Team 4-Star does like I think they do like a more professional kind of thing. Like the videos they produce are more professional. But I just think Little Karibo is funnier. Not because he was first, I just genuinely find him more entertaining, but matter of personal preference. Hopefully I don't kill my throat doing this video. Comment number 2. What other hobbies do you do besides abridging? In other words, stumbling over my words, gotta slow this shit down. What other hobbies do you do besides abridging? In other words, music, arts, crafts, serial killing. Well, you know, when I'm not killing the infidels, I occasionally like to, I think, you know, if people are aware of my, I like to play the piano, the one right here. I like my keyboard. So occasionally I like to play that. I'm not very good. I'm not like super talented at piano, but I did take lessons for quite some time, and you know, so I know how to play it. I'm not very, like I said, not very good, but I've been recently learning, just playing stuff by ear occasionally. Usually it's kind of video game music, or if I hear just any song, I'll just try to see if I can play it myself. So yeah, I like to do that. Obviously, well, video games, but that goes without saying. Let me see, is it? Oh, that looks. You can see my face. That's good enough. But no, but that. I used to draw comics, I guess, when I was younger, and I still kind of draw every once in a while. But I'm not like super. I don't know. I don't draw a lot these days. I mean, I'm probably gonna get back to it since I'm considering getting into Flash animation again. So you know, I may get more practice. But yeah, I haven't really been too motivated to draw recently. I guess the Abridged series was kind of my main hobby, because it did incorporate a lot of things. You know, I like to make silly voices, and you know, the Abridged series gave me the opportunity to do that. I had the opportunity to fucking, I mean, you know, do little write comedy and stuff. And I mean, I guess I did the comics back when I was still, but before I did the Abridged series. So that was kind of how I did the comedy writing thing. But then today, I made the terribly edited Abridged parodies. But yeah, so. But yeah, mostly just playing the keyboard, I guess, and yeah, I don't draw much, but I guess. Well, I do have. Oh wait, here's some. I like to do a little. This is just like random tests. I don't like all these faces though, but I like. I was trying to work with different faces. I like the guy down here. I like that look. Nah, that's terrible. That's awful. I don't like his mouth there. Oh, I like the afraid face. Sorry, I was experimenting with different faces, deciding whether I should do like a face on the whether I should do like a face right here to the side of the eye, or the one in the middle. I mean, the middle one is, I guess, more anatomically correct, but I'm drawing people with circular heads, so I guess we already threw anatomy out the fucking window there. Oh, I like this. I like this little thing. I like that face. So, I like to do little. I haven't drawn that much though. I guess that's just me kind of brainstorming little simple cartoon character designs. It's nothing super good, so that wasn't me trying to show off how good I am, because that's no, I'm not super good, but you know, it's fun. So I guess that. Hopefully that answers your question. I can't think of anything else right now. Question number 3. What are your ethnicities? Or what's your ethnicity or ethnicities? Mostly Greek. Like my mom's side of the family is like very much like my mom was born and raised in Greece, and then she came here when she was like 12. So yeah, that is very much a Greek family. Very fond of Greek food, very fond of lamb and feta cheese and olives, you know. As for my dad's side of the family, I don't know. He's I don't really know much about my dad's side of the family. I know there's like some German and like some Swedish in there, but his side is like very scattered, you know. So we don't really know. So I guess the answer to that is mostly mostly in terms of my lineage. I'm very much Greek. You know. Comment number 4. What would you say is your that's a nice question. What would you say is your influence in comedy and comedic writing? Your humor the humor in your series is often very well done. Thank you. I'm glad you think so, man. I don't. I mean, I guess in terms of like internet people that I looked up to, I mean, definitely. I mean, I've mentioned Egoraptor already. Egoraptor, Hot Diggity Demon, Spoonie, definitely Spoonie. He's like one of my favorite internet people. Yeah, so Egoraptor, Hot Diggity Demon, Spoonie. Robert Benfer, the guy who does like the Clay World videos, even though he doesn't make them anymore. But you know, I love him. I mean, I was watching that shit back in middle school. Like that was. So I mean, I'm still subscribed to his fucking channel. I still love the weird shit he does on there. You know, like singing a song about him injuring his balls. But yeah, I guess those are. I'm trying to think of somebody else. Not so much. I would say the Nostalgia Critic, but not so much. You know, I'm not influenced by him stylistically. I mean, there's a lot of people I watch, but I don't think influence my sense of humor. Yeah, I guess mostly those 4 people. that I actually look to and like stylistically say, oh yeah, I like what they do. Maybe JonTron. Maybe JonTron. So like I guess those are like sort of the internet personas I kind of draw inspiration from. And then in terms of like actual comedians, currently my three favorite comedians are Louis C.K., Dave Chappelle, and Bo Burnham. Three very, very different comedians with very different styles. I want to make it clear, by the way, that I'm not trying to compare myself to these people at all. They actually, these are three people who talk about like real shit, and I just talk about, you know, I make stupid jokes about video games on a regular basis and talk over video game footage, but so I'm not trying to say I'm comparable, but I think there's elements of like the style, like the way they deliver their jokes that I really think is like, I really love the way they deliver their fucking jokes, like all three of them. I apologize for George Carlin not being on that list. I do like George Carlin. I think he's one of my other favorite comedians, but I don't think like stylistically there's anything about him that I've ever been like, yeah, I do want to draw from that. I guess I could go into like why I like each of them, but that would probably take like 20 minutes. I could probably go on about like, you know, just basically fanboying and sucking the dicks of all these comedians, but I guess, yeah, those are the three big comedians that I guess I kind of draw inspiration from right now. If you had asked me, by the way, if you had asked me like a few years ago, my answer would have been completely different. So I guess today that's where I kind of draw my inspiration from, but you know, but yeah, those are the, I'm sorry if I'm very rambly today. I'm always very rambly. I'm a scatterbrained motherfucker, you know? I'll try to stay on topic as best as I can, but yeah, I guess those are the people I kind of really admire. But yeah, thank you, dude. I'm trying to get better. I mean, I think my writing in like Twilight Princess was putrid, and Ocarina of Time was better, but still pretty, still not the best. But I'm working on it. I'm trying to become not terrible, and I'm on my way. Comment number 5. Hey Xana, I'm comment number 29 from the last video. Thank you so much for what you said. If I ever find the words to describe what you said did for me, I'll let you know. I'm sorry I digress, and then they go on to ask me the questions. And thanks, dude. If anybody doesn't remember, this was the person who basically, I think they said something akin to, you know, basically I was going through a difficult time and your videos helped me, and that was very nice of them to say. And I kind of addressed that element of it in the previous Q&A, and I'm glad. And thanks, dude. I'm glad that something I said to you kind of helped, because I thought I kind of beat around the bush. I wasn't able to get... I'm sorry I couldn't offer any more in the ways of advice, you know, but I don't know what your specific situation is, so it would be kind of stupid for me to try to pretend like I can relate to what you're going through. But I'm glad that I'm glad something I said helped you a little bit. So hey, you know, I'm glad I was able to do that much. But yes, I'm going to answer all three, and he asked me like 3 questions. I'm going to answer, or she, I don't know what your gender is. I'm going to answer all 3 of the questions because this person is very nice and I like him. So first question, actually I'm going to take a drink because I'm starting to slur my words and my mouth's kind of dry. Oh my gosh. I just splashed water in my fucking eye. See, this is what, apparently I'm too incompetent to fucking drink water without it going in my fucking eye. Not great, that was water all over the fucking... You know what, I just made it worse. I tried to blow the water off, and then I just made it spread more. You know what, fuck it. I don't need to see to do this. Well, I can see the screen just fine. Whatever, I'm gonna keep going. No edits, no cuts. Unless I really fuck up and I need to. But no, the first question here is very interesting. Question number 1, do you believe that age is a prerequisite for wisdom? Interesting question, dude. I'm surprised you asked me that, because I'm not, you know... I don't see the reason to ask, you know, I make Zelda parodies, so I don't see the reason to ask me existential, or not existential, I guess. That's just but that's a highly philosophical question. I guess I would say, and I'm sorry if I sound like an idiot, like I said, I stumble over my words a lot, but do I believe age is a prerequisite for wisdom? I would say not necessarily. I mean, it really depends on the person themselves. I mean, if we're defining wisdom as, like, intelligence or knowledge gained through life experience, then, yeah, I mean... I guess a person who's older is more likely to have experienced, like a 60-year-old is more likely to have experienced things than somebody who is like 20 or something. Yeah, they probably lived through a lot more, or they're at least more likely to have lived through a lot more. But just because a person has been through more experiences doesn't mean they necessarily draw wisdom from that, or they become more wise. there still has to be like some analysis or introspection on the part of the person themselves. I mean, you can live through a bunch of experiences, but if you're, but there's also plenty of people who go through experiences and don't learn shit from it, or don't reflect on it, or don't, either because they just they don't really care to, or they lack the intelligence to actually be introspective. So, I mean, I guess so. It does depend on how intelligent the person is, how motivated they are to actually better themselves and learn and examine, I guess, question their own values and beliefs and ideas. But yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I'm kind of trailing off, but no, I basically, I would say it can be. I mean, if you're like a very intelligent person and, you're intelligent, but you're like, at a very young age, what was I trying to say? I guess if you're really intelligent and motivated when you're young and you maintain that up until adulthood, yeah, I think you at age 60 will be like way smarter than you at age 20, but that's not always the case. And again, there are also people who grow up living in very much of a bubble, and they don't, they live in a small community, get a very simple job, and they don't deviate too much, or they don't, not deviate, but they don't venture too far from that bubble, I guess. They live in a small community, they get a very simple job, they sort of live their lives. They don't really question things or analyze themselves, or, they're not very introspective people. So there's also people who go out of their ways to not have a lot of life experiences that they could grow and learn from. So like I said, it can be, but it depends on the person. Depends how motivated they are to actually better themselves, or how intelligent they are, like inherently intelligent. Sorry if that was rambly. I tried my best. Question number 2. What do you believe is the cause of the decline of talent in the modern pop music industry? I'm not sure if I can really answer. I'm not sure if I can really comment on the decline, since like to explain like how something has gotten worse, I'd have to be familiar with like a previous incarnation of the industry, and I'm not really aware. I don't really know a whole lot, or I'm very educated about the history of the music industry, so I couldn't really comment on how it's gotten worse. But I am familiar with the modern music industry, but that's because that's what I grew up in. So I mean, like I said, I'm not very educated on the subject of music, but I guess I could probably guess why the modern music industry sucks. I mean, plain and simple, they're targeting a very specific demographic, and that target demographic doesn't really give a shit about songs with very insightful or very interesting lyrics, or lyrics that provide insight on some kind of relevant social issue. Music that is both musically and lyrically complex does not appeal to that demographic. The demographic they're targeting is more concerned about just having music that's like really simplistic in nature, something that has a really simple beat that and very simple lyrics that you can easily dance to, or that you can really easily sing along to. A song about girls shaking their butts at the fucking club is going to be a lot easier to memorize than, a song that's talking about the fucking, I don't know, just any subject with actual substance to it. No, if there's a song that's like, bitches in the club, bitches in the, like, you're gonna remember something stupid like that, you can understand. I mean, you're like the song "Move Bitch" by Ludacris. You only have to listen to that song once to know what the fucking chorus is. You don't have to like really sit there and think hard about it to, you're gonna remember like, "Move, bitch, get out the way." It's a stupid song, but it's catchy and you remember it. So that's all they're really concerned about. If you can dance it, they just want stuff. They basically want to generate earworms. That's their goal. And, I mean, you'd be taking a risk on a song that actually challenges its audience. I mean, a song that's like talking about something that's actually complicated that's going to be harder to memorize and sing along to. And at the same time, you can't really blame the music industry for doing that either. You can't really blame them for capitalizing on that and just producing dumb song after dumb song, because that's what sells. They're a business, whether, and the goal of any business, whether it's like some, big corporation or some, a mom and pop shop, is to make money. So if they have the ability to make like really stupid, dumb songs, which are extremely, and any idiot could write this shit and produce this shit. So if they can just produce stupid songs, stupid vapid garbage, and it sells, why would they take a risk on something that actually challenges the audience? Why would they take a risk on a song that, and plus a song that's actually challenged its audience would require fucking effort to make. So why put the effort into making a good song or promoting a good song when you could just produce, you know, crap and it'll sell just as well, if not better. So, I don't know. I guess that's kind of my opinion. Again, very rambly, sorry. And question number 3, which Harry Potter book is your favorite? I actually never read the Harry Potter books. I'm more a fan. Sorry, I'm gonna position that again. Sorry. I never read the Harry Potter books myself. I just kind of watched the movies. Actually, you know, that's not entirely true. When I was really young, I would actually read the books with my parents. Like, my parents would sit there with me and we kind of read it together. So I guess like I got through the first few books, kind of. I didn't really read it. You know, my parents kind of read it to me, but I guess my favorite was the third one. But then again, like I said, I'm more familiar with the movies than the books, so I can't really answer your question. But can't really provide an educator response. But anyways, and they finished the comment with, these Q&A videos are really cool. Thanks, and then a smiley face or a sideways smiley. So yeah, thanks, dude. I'm glad you enjoyed this. Hopefully I answered hopefully my stupid scatterbrain fucking mind was actually able to answer these questions. Some of these are actually very interesting questions, so thank you. Comment number 6, what kind of RPG character are you? And they listed examples like brawler, medic, any sort of distance fighter. I'd say a long distance fighter, man. I mean, I just like the idea of, like, sort of, you know, I don't know, I like the whole idea of being a sniper, the idea of sort of waiting in the background or hiding in a tree, and just kind of aiming a rifle and being like, all right, come on, you son of a bitch, you know. I don't know, I just think the whole stalker, if I'm gonna be a combat, you know, I don't know, like, I kind of like the stalker combat type. Maybe it's just because, like, I'm naturally a big fucking pansy, and, you know, I'd rather hide away in a fucking tree and take pot shots while people are actually on the ground sacrificing their fucking limbs, you know, getting their limbs chopped off and shot to death, and I'm just sitting in the background like, yay, good luck out there, you know. But no, I don't know, I just think it's kind of cool. I like the idea of, like, lining up a shot and shooting a guy, or just hanging back and providing support. I don't know, it just kind of seems cooler than just, I guess being a brawler would be cool too, but I don't know, I just like to be I just like to hang around in the background and sort of just be a part of sort of indirectly be a part of the action, as opposed to, like, you know, just being up front and wailing on people. Comment number 7. Hi, Xana. I had the post-Christmas blues and was watching the game theory episode about the evidence Link is dead in Majora's Mask. So I want to know, do you believe in the theory in which Link is dead in Majora's Mask? Yeah, after reading your question, I decided to go check out the video. I've actually never followed game theory, and it's an interesting channel. Yeah, but I watched the video, and sorry, throat's getting dry. No, I certainly found it interesting. I guess, let me put it this way. It's a well thought out theory. I guess I kind of think of this theory, though, kind of like the Mass Effect indoctrination theory. It's a good theory. It does make sense in the context of, like, the lore of that gaming universe, but it's probably not what the developers originally intended, you know? But that is sort of what he said at the end of the video, you know? At the end of the day, it is just a theory. A game! Although, I guess if you were to make the argument, though, that the entirety of... But I can understand why you want to ask me, because I did a whole abridged parody about Majora's Mask. I guess my perspective on that is... Now, I do think that... I do agree with the notion that death is a common theme. That death is very much a major theme in Majora's Mask, but it's part of why I love it so much. It's an extremely dark game that deals with very dark... I mean, the whole premise of the game is, you know, you have 3 days to save everybody, or else everybody fucking dies. You know, the world is called Termina. You know, he was right. Like, yeah, it's called fucking Termina, you know? Not even subtle. But no, I certainly think death is the theme. I mean, and there are many characters in the game that, you know, deal with the impending crashing of the moon in very different ways. So yeah, death is certainly a theme. But I don't know if I'd go as far as to say that the whole game is a metaphor for Link being dead, or that he was dead throughout the entirety of the experience. I think that's kind of stretching it, but I guess if you were to make the argument that Link is indeed dead for the entirety of the game, then I'd want I'd want to ask the question myself, and I guess I'm not really going to answer this question. I guess I'm just going to ask the question, and maybe you can answer it, or maybe you can discuss it if you want to. Usually people don't really comment much on the answer videos. I guess they hear me talk and they're, you know, they don't want to leave a lot of, I guess they already get their answers, so they don't feel the need to leave a lot of comments. So I don't know if people are going to discuss this or not, but they probably won't. But, no, I would say, I guess the big question would be is if, because Ikana Canyon, according to the game theory episode, is the point at which Link is supposed to have come to accept his fate, and he's ready to move on. But before he does that, though, he still has to defeat Majora, rescue Skull Kid, and return the mask to the salesman before leaving, or before moving on, or ascending, as the game would imply. Or at least this, as the theory would imply. But if that is indeed the case, then what does Majora symbolically represent if the whole game is a metaphor for Link being dead, and Link, you know, dying and dealing with that and coping with that? You know, the process of him, you know, ascending into the afterlife. So what does Majora represent? On top of that, what does what is the tree at the end of the game when you go onto the moon? What does that represent too? And what does the what would the, and what does, even more importantly, what the fuck does Fierce Deity's mask symbolize in relation to the whole death thing? Because if the whole game is just one big metaphor, then you think that the boss, the final creature you have to defeat, you know, you think that that would play a big role in the fucking, you know, that would play a big role in this whole theme of this whole Link being dead thing. So I guess what would, because like he turns into like a god, but I'm not sure how that relates to the notion of death. But you think that would be a pivotal moment in relation to the whole death thing. So maybe there actually is some way to, I get, well, the video itself didn't actually cover that or answer those questions. But again, it is all speculation. It is just theory. I'm not going to repeat that joke. I guess that covers my thoughts. I mean, I guess it brings up some interesting questions that I don't really care to answer, because I don't think I'm invested enough into, I like Majora's Mask, but I don't know if I'm so invested that I would really spend a lot of time thinking about this. Even though I am one to think a lot about, I like to overanalyze the fuck out of video games too, but I don't know if I'd read that deeply into Majora's Mask. Let's see, sorry, hopefully that answers your question, kind of. Comment number 8. What's your favorite holiday and why? Thanksgiving. Because I feel like that, of all the holidays, that's the only holiday as I've gotten older that hasn't lost any of its... Oh, jeez. Excuse me. Yeah, definitely Thanksgiving, because... I'm so sorry. I feel like definitely Thanksgiving, because like of all the holidays I have, I feel like that's one of the holidays that hasn't gotten any less exciting to me as I've gotten older. Because, you know, when you get older and then your parents kind of drop the Santa bomb on you, Christmas kind of loses some of that magic. And then, you know, with Halloween, you get to a certain age where, you know, you can't be fucking 22 years old and be walking up to people's doors asking for candy. You know, they'll be like, "Get the fuck out of here. What are you doing?" But no, Thanksgiving, because like, again, because the whole thing about Thanksgiving is, you know, you and some family and some friends and your neighbors get together and you have this big ass fantastic meal. And, you know, I feel like no matter who you are or where you're from or, you know, whatever, I think everybody can appreciate a good meal, you know, and unless you're like dieting or something, in which case Thanksgiving probably is the worst fucking holiday ever, but I'm not, so I can just pig the fuck out. So yeah, Thanksgiving, still just as awesome, you know. Gotta love that fucking turkey, that stuffing, all that shit. My mom's a good cook, so hey, I always have something to look forward to every year. Get together with the family and eat fucking amazing food. That's always fun. Comment number 9. Xana, what's your eyesight like? Are you blind, or are the glasses just a fashion trend? No, they are not just these are definitely not just a fashion trend. I'm not such a douchebag that I would wear fucking glasses just because I think they look cool. No, I need these to... I'm not blind, though. I mean, I'm... Let's just put it this way. If I took these glasses off and tried to drive a car, I could probably drive a car just fine. But things would kind of... But I wouldn't be able to, like, read any of the street signs, you know? I could, like, make out shapes and things. Like, I could see... Like, if a person was standing at the end of the hallway down there, I could see them standing there, but I wouldn't be able to, like, see who they are. So, I mean, my eyesight's not, like, super bad, but it's just, you know... So, but no, I would not fucking wear glasses just because I think it looks good. That's such a fucking douchey thing to do. I can't stand people. It's such like, I don't know, such hipster shit. And I'll be damned before I fucking call myself a hipster. Comment number 10. Hey Xana, I was wondering, how did you come across the Nostalgia Critic, aka Doug Walker? Also, do you feel his current reviews are as funny as his older ones? Well, I came across Doug Walker. I was just hanging out at a friend's house, and I basically, I was just like, I came over to his house, and he was on thatguywiththeglasses.com, and I'm like, what's that? It's like, it's thatguywiththeglasses.com. I'm like, who's that guy? The Nostalgia Critic. So then I went home later, and I looked up the Nostalgia Critic. It was basically just that, and I'm like, oh, I think this guy's funny. So that's how I discovered him. It was just, yeah, just found out about him from a friend, and as for, yeah, do I think his reviews are funnier than his old? Do I think his reviews are just as funny as the old ones? I think they're funnier. I think they're well, not. I wouldn't say funnier, but I think they're better. I mean, I think there's a lot more. Well, because like in his newer reviews, he goes into a lot more detail explaining why the movie sucks. You know, because I guess there's a lot of people who bitch that they don't like the newer Nostalgia Critic, but I don't really understand. Hey, Scruffy, I'm sorry. More thoughts? More you want to share? But. Because there's a lot of thoughts about because like because I read a lot of comments, and there's a lot of people who's like, oh, the old Nostalgia Critic is better, and I'm hilariously enough, I feel like they're basing a lot of that on nostalgia, because I actually went back and watched the old Nostalgia Critic videos, and they're not really that fantastic. I mean, they're kind of funny, but it basically boils down to, I'm cartoonishly overreacting to how bad this movie is, and yelling in a loud voice. That doesn't sound anything like him, but he goes super. I can't yell that high. When I yell, I have to go like this. You know, I can't be up here. I can't go like, that fucking sucks. But he gets like really cartoonishly angry, and that's okay, but I feel like that would get old after a while, you know? And he doesn't really do much in the way of analysis. At least in his newer reviews, he actually goes into more detail as to why the movies themselves aren't very good. You know, what are the problems with the movie? Like his Pearl Harbor review is a good example of that, you know, where he doesn't just say this movie sucks and cartoonishly overreacts to it. He says it sucks, but he also points out the stuff that he just finds straight out offensive to, you know, people who are actually involved in that tragedy, you know, who are actually involved in that event and who lost their lives. And, you know, he made a very good point about, you know, when you take it upon yourself to represent a tragic event in which people lost their lives, you can't just take these stupid, yeah, you want to add some fictional elements, all right, but you don't do it at the expense of, like, you tell the story as it happened. If you're going to take it upon yourself to do that, you got to do it fucking right, and you got to do it responsibly. You know, you got to take that fucking seriously. You don't just, you know, this isn't Transformers. That was kid shit. Again, I really liked that he went into that he really talked about that, and he made that point, because I don't feel like that's something he would have done in his older reviews. I guess if I were to make a criticism, yeah, some of the skits he does can get kind of annoying, and they can be kind of obnoxious, because they do kind of distract from the review, But my issue with I only have a problem with the skits, though, when they get in the way of the review. If he's using the skits to complement the points he's making in the review itself, that's fine. That doesn't bother. Like the Pearl Harbor, again, the skits were relevant to the review. He was, you know, making fun of Michael Bay, and he was adding to the points he was making about the fucking movie, and he wasn't just. Or same thing with Avatar: The Last Airbender. You know, again, his skits. The live action skits were relevant to the movie, so to the points he was making about the movie. So that wasn't really a problem to me. I think when it was a problem is like when he was doing that cartoon. He was like doing the review of that cartoon version of The King and I, and then he had that random skit about like Les Mis or something, and it was just like, what are you doing a skit about Les Mis for? You're doing a review about The King and I, what the fuck, you know? Yeah, that was really distracting. But again, but this is what he wants to do, though. He wants to do these skits, and I feel as long as they don't distract from the review, you know, that I think the reviews are a lot better. Personally, I like them. And if doing these skits means that he, you know, kind of reinvigorated his interest in doing these types of reviews again, if that's what he wants to do, then hey, you know, they're his videos. He can do it. Sorry, I feel like that was way too long, but no, that's sort of how I feel. I like him. I think they're actually better. I think he's gotten better at doing what he does. Comment number 11. I don't know why I thought of this, but here goes. If there was an abridged Grammys of some sort, which one of your videos from any of your series would you submit? Does it have to be from a series? Can I submit Navi Meets Tail? Because I like Navi Meets Tail. Does it have to be like... I mean, neither that or Wind Waker Super Abridged, but I guess that's my answer, so... Comment number 12. Bonjour Xana. Avid French speaker, are we? If that's even your real name thingy, it's not. I would like to know if you have or will make an email address for fans such as myself to send pictures of fan art. Yeah, sure, man. If you want to... I prefer you send me a private message as opposed... I don't think I've ever really given an email address for people to send that kind of stuff to, though. But I guess if you want to email me, I'll actually... will I put it right up here over my head? Yeah, there we go. I guess I'll put I'll put my email address right up here over my head. So yeah, if you have fan art and you want to send it to me, just you know, send it there. Do that. As for or you could just send me a private message or something if you want to as well. If you have a DeviantArt account, you could send me a private message and just link me to that. So, you know, there's multiple ways to contact me or send me that stuff. But now, dude, if you want to make fan art or something or send me a message, yeah, feel free. Go send me that fucking email. I like to see stuff like that. Comment number 13. Is it weird to think that people, including me, find you attractive? If not, how about the fact that a guy, again, parentheses, me, does? Also, what is your first memory of seeing something funny? Okay, to answer your first question, no, I don't think it's weird. I mean, I find it flattering as fuck, man. I mean, that's cool. I mean, sure. I'm not a homophobic dick, so the fact that you're a dude doesn't like, oh my god, you know, I don't give a shit. No, I mean, that's cool. I mean, as long as you understand that, you know, as long as it doesn't escalate to like weird stalker like behavior, like we're meant to be together, you know. Also, you know, hopefully you understand that I'm also a dude who's not, you know, I'm not into dicks. So, you know, I'm not a dude who's into dicks, so I can't reciprocate those feelings. But, you know, as long as you know, understand that and you're not, as long as you don't fucking stalk me or send me messages all the time and like, or do something weird, like find my address and like show up at my house uninvited and like, Xana, hi, and I'm like, what the fuck? You know, don't do something like that, but no, again, as long as you don't do anything weird, that's fine. It's not weird that you find me attractive. If anything, it's kind of cool. I mean, it's flattering to me, I guess, because like I'm not a dude who's really considered themselves that attractive. And I guess I don't really put a lot of I don't really put a lot of like, I don't know, a lot of my self-esteem isn't really dependent on how attractive I am, because that's not something I really cared about too much. So I guess it just wasn't something that was like super important to me. I always considered myself to be like a 5 or a 6, you know? But I guess no matter who you are, though, it is still nice to have somebody say, hey, I like the way you look, you know? So that's kind of cool. I don't know, personally, I always thought, like I said, I was always like a 5 or a 6. Personally, I think my worst feature is like my big-ass teeth, because I got like 2 really large front teeth, and I have a bit of an overbite, so I think like when my mouth is closed, I'm like a 6. Like, but as soon as I open it, like, I immediately go down to like a 5, because I got like these big goofy teeth. But no, I find it flattering, but thank you for the compliment. Again, as long as it doesn't get creepy or something, then I don't care. And as for your second question, also, what is your first memory of seeing something funny? I honestly do not remember the first thing I found funny. I mean, I seriously don't. I'm sorry. Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, actually, you know what? I kind of do. It just came to me. The first thing I remember laughing at, because I mean, when I was like a baby, I probably laughed because somebody jingled keys in front of my fucking face. But you know, but in terms of something I can remember, I think the first time I remember laughing, at least at a TV show. I was watching an episode of Ed, Edd n Eddy, and it was the first episode of Ed, Edd n Eddy I'd ever watched, and I became a huge fan of that show, minus the last few seasons, which I wasn't too much of a fan of, but, yeah, I remember that Ed, Edd n Eddy was like, yeah, I remember, and it was a really confusing episode to start on, because the first episode of Ed, Edd n Eddy I watched was that episode where all of the Eds decided to switch personalities for a day, like Double D dressed up as Ed, Eddie dressed up as fuck, I can't remember who Ed and Eddie with, I can't remember who Ed and Eddie dressed up as, but I remember they all switched personalities, and I remember that was like the first time I had actually, that's the first time I can recall watching like a show, and I just cracked up. It was really funny to me. There's also like the newspaper episode. That one was funny too. But that's like, I guess that's the first like TV show I can remember watching and like laughing at. So it became I guess that's the earliest I can remember of watching something and finding it really funny. But sorry, I guess that answers that. Next comment. Comment number 14. And I think I've gotten this comment a few times before, but I believe I think I've deleted any videos that I answered this in, because I deleted my like old FAQ video, the one I made when I was like, not the one I made in 2012, the one I made back when I was like still 17 years old and I was just starting out. I think I deleted that just because a lot of the information in there was kind of outdated, also because I was I think I came across like an asshole. I've deleted a few of my commentary videos just because I thought I came across as an asshole and I didn't like the way I presented myself. But yeah, where did I get my user? So I don't know if I have a video that answers this already, but I didn't come up with my username. This was originally, not this account, but my Xanauzumaki account was originally, my Xanauzumaki account was, that belonged to my younger cousin. What happened is basically, he's the person who said, he actually showed me what abridging was. We were playing, I think I answered this actually in a Q&A. So I think I've talked about my cousin. Basically, he showed me abridged stuff, and I'm like, hey, I want to try that too. And I was originally posting it on his account. What it was going to be was, it was going to be like a joint thing where I would occasionally upload an abridged episode, and then he would upload his own videos, and it would be like a two-person thing. But then it became clear after a while that my videos were the videos getting the most attention. So he was really cool about it. He basically told me one day, you know, if you wanted to just take over the channel yourself, I can just get another YouTube channel. And I was like, oh, dude, are you sure? I mean, like, that's your fucking channel. He's like, no, dude, it's really fun. He was really, like I said, he was really cool about it. So yeah, basically I just ended up becoming Xanauzumaki. It started as his account, but I just ended up, and I deleted all his videos. And again, I asked him if that was okay. I didn't do anything without asking him first. But I deleted his videos, and it basically became my YouTube channel. So I didn't come up with the name, but I guess it's kind of stuck. I guess people calling me Xana. You know, I identify, I guess, as Xana now. Somebody said Xana. Hey, Xana. I'd probably turn my head like, what? You know, even though my name is Chris or Christian. Oh shit, comment number 15. This is going to be an interesting one. Comment number 15. Hey, Xana. Hello. Here's an odd one. It is an odd one indeed. What do you think scares you the most? Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Shit. And I'm sorry, I hate to... Because I know you want me to say something funny. I can give you, like, my superficial stupid fear, I guess, first, and then give you, like, a genuine, like, kind of existential fear I have, but... What do you think scares me the most? I guess my superficial stupid fear is that I'm very afraid of bees. And, I'm very afraid of bees and or wasps or any insect that flies and stings. They creep me the fuck out. I don't really know why. I think I got stung when I was like a little kid, and I just kind of got, not traumatized by it, but it kind of stuck with me, and now I have this, like, weird phobia. I could probably easily cure that just by, you know, through exposure therapy or something, you know, but I don't really care to. And as for the actual, but what scares me the most though, like a genuine fear, and I'm sorry to get too real. Again, I'm sorry. I know I usually do funny stuff and you want me to probably answer this funny, but I guess if this Q&A is about sharing shit about myself, I think the biggest fear I have is the idea that the idea of being in like a serious car accident or something like basically sustaining a serious head injury that results in a permanent brain damage that severely limits my ability to function, you know, and I'm talking damage to the higher functioning parts of the brain, the parts of the brain that can that can reason through things and think through things, you know. I guess mostly the frontal area, the one that does all of the complex stuff, you know, not like, you know, oh, I can't move my arm or something. You know, I feel like if I, you know, if I became a paraplegic, or if I lost control of my arms or something, that might limit me, but, you know, I'd still be me, you know, I'd still be able to think, I'd still be, I guess the idea that I could so easily lose that through something as simple as a car accident is, like, absolutely fucking terrifying to me. Like, I thought about this one day, and I started just, it put me in a bad emotional place to just think about the possibility. You know, I'm not like a super genius or anything, but I like the ability. I mean, I guess partially it's because I watched my grandmother lose her mind to dementia, and that, you know, that fucking was horrible. You know, there was a point when she died where I was thinking to myself, I was partially happy that she died, not because she was dead, but simply because I guess it was, at least she's not, you know, losing her fucking mind anymore. At least she's not going through this shit. And it was so hard to watch her go through that, you know? That was, I guess I don't want to go through something like that myself, you know? And again, but that would be so easy. So I guess basically just losing my mind, be it through a brain injury, through like a car crash, or just becoming a schizophrenic, or developing schizophrenia, or developing dementia or something like that. Honestly, I'd rather be dead. And that's a weird thing to say, because, you know, I'm an atheist. I'm not very spiritual. You know, as far as I'm concerned, when the second my brain stops functioning, that's it. But so I guess it says a lot that I would very much favor non-existence. You know, I have no reason to believe in an afterlife, so I think it says a lot that I would favor non-existence to living a half-life, you know, where I'm basically just still alive but barely, and I'm just a burden on my fucking family, and you know, I guess if I died, you know, that's still a burden, an emotional burden on people, but it's a quick burden. At least I'd be dead, you know. There isn't a long gradual decline, and then I slowly just die and just lose all my potential as a human being. I don't know, that puts me in a dark place. I'm sorry, I feel like this comment got too fucking real, sort of. But yeah, I'd rather be dead than live a shitty life with like serious mental damage. But I'm sorry about that. That got very fucking heavy. You did ask me what scares me the most, and that's what does. Comment number 16. Sorry, to try to bring us up. Hi, Xana. Hello. I'm trying to bring us out of that. So the person says, hi, Xana, and then they say, Merry Christmasana... Okay, now I have to pronounce this shit. Merry Christmasanakawanzamadon. You know, you could have just said happy fucking holidays, okay? You piece of shit. Now you made me have to fucking pronounce that shit. I hate you. I'm just kidding. But, no, seriously, let's see. Pick whatever one of those and accept the cheer. I will. Making me announce it. Well, just because you have to make me pronounce that bullshit, I'm gonna have to answer all your questions. Okay, they asked me three... this one asked me three questions, too, just like the other guy. So... the first question he asks is, I wasn't here at the beginning of your channel, and I showed up at the beginning of Ocarina of Time, so I'm wondering how long it took you to begin to rise in subs. Like, at which episode of Twilight Princess Abridged did you have to start having a rapid increase in subscribers? I would say I didn't even really notice the change until I was doing Ocarina of Time. About 4 episodes into Ocarina of Time, I did my 1,000 subscriber video. Or I did like a commentary. The commentary's gone at this point. Because again, I deleted it because I didn't like the way I conducted myself in it. But I didn't notice it actually. Well, I didn't actually notice it until I hit about 2,000 subscribers. Because that's when it kind of sunk in how quickly a person could rise in subscriptions. And I didn't realize. Because from what I've learned, at least from what I've learned about being on YouTube for over 4 years, is there's basically kind of a snowball effect to how subscriptions work. You know, the more subscribers you have, the more subscribers you tend to gain, provided that you're still releasing regular content, or at least you're releasing content on somewhat of a regular basis, or you're being somewhat consistent about it. I've never seen anybody's subscriber count actually go down. I've only seen it go up or just kind of plateau. So usually people who don't upload stuff for a while, like Adam West Lapdog or JonTron when he was doing, well, then again, I think JonTron was still going up. It depends on the channel. Some channels just kind of, you're either going up or you're just kind of staying the same. I've never seen just you. Spoonie, for example, didn't upload on his YouTube channel for a long time. And his subscriber count didn't go down. It just kind of stayed where it was, even though he wasn't making anything. Or at least not releasing anything on that channel for a while. I mean, now he is, but he didn't for such a long time, so. But, yeah. But like I said, I didn't notice until I hit 2,000, because after I hit that first 1,000 subscribers, that was kind of a milestone for me, and I'm like, oh, wow, you know, I didn't expect to get this far. And that took me, like, what, like a little over a year to get to? So then when I hit 2,000 a few months later, I was like, whoa, that was faster than I thought. So, yeah, I guess when I hit 2,000 subs, that's when it kind of sunk in. But then I was already well into Ocarina of Time. So let's see. Yeah, I wasn't really noticing the subscriber count. Until then. Didn't really pay attention to it that much. Let's see, and then I guess he asks as a follow-up question: did you ever get discouraged? Like, did you think you'd never get past 100? I never got discouraged because I didn't really anticipate that anybody would watch my videos, you know, because I was doing the same thing Adam was doing. I didn't anticipate that as many, like, I didn't think I'd ever gain 10,000 or more subscribers. That's like really weird to me because, again, there was a whole bunch of these things on YouTube. I was not one of the few, but for some reason I ended up with like the second most subscribed channel that does that kind of thing. I mean, the second most subscribed Zelda Abridged channel, for whatever that's worth. I mean, that we're talking about, you know, again, we're talking about, like, you know, Zelda abridging, you know, there's abridging in general, and then you have Team 4-Star and Little Karibo and stuff at the top, and then you have like the subsets of abridging, you know. And then you have video game abridged, and then you have Zelda abridged, which I guess Adam dominates at like 30,000 subscribers or something, and then so I'm part of a very small group, so, but hey, second best of that really small fucking group, or second most subscribed to, but no, I didn't anticipate gaining that many subscriptions. I used to look at people like Nevet1212 or Time Dragon X like, holy shit, these people are like way above me. Holy crap. So, but I didn't think I would ever reach that point, because I didn't think my channel would stand out amongst all the others. So I never say I got discouraged. And hell, when I started making YouTube videos, I didn't really even fully understand what subscriptions were and what they meant. So my initial motivation wasn't to gain subscribers. It was just kind of to make a funny video and then put it on the internet so hopefully somebody would see it. And then, okay, next question. Sorry, I hope so. Hopefully that answered that. I don't feel I have anything else I could say. Next question. I know you dislike Twilight Princess, but aside from episode 15 and 16, what is your... Hold on. Sorry, I have to scroll down. But aside from episodes 15 and 16, what is your favorite episode? Aside from 15 and 16? Because, yeah, my favorite is, like, the Xana episode, because that's, like, still funny to me. I don't know. I went back and, like, out of, you know, sometimes for old time's sake, or just to kind of see where I've come, like, compare it to where I am now. Like, I'll watch, you know, I'll look at, like, a Majora's Mask episode, and then I'll watch a Twilight Princess and, like, compare them. I think they're all pretty bad, to be honest. I mean, the writing is, like, super forced. Like, it's so obvious that I'm trying to get the characters to, like, set up jokes so I can make the, you know, set up for a punchline, and it's really, the dialogue just sounds, again, it sounds like it's really forced humor, and it's really stupid, and it's, and there's so many jokes that are just really dumb. Way too many bad sex jokes and stuff, you know. So I honestly hate, I don't know. There's not a lot I like about Twilight Princess. I mean, I guess my favorite would be episode 12, only because I like some of the little bits I came up with I like the story that Link tells when he's trying to, like, come up with an excuse for why the Yeti's wife is lying on the ground. After he fucking beat her up. I don't know. I thought that was kind of a fun way to do that part of the game. I feel like I got something in my eye. But no, I feel like I kind of like that part of the game. I thought that was kind of a funny thing to do. I like some of the lines too, like where Link says he's a close blood relative of Jesus Christ, or where I don't know, the female Yeti's like, yeah, there's so many cool. It's like, thank you, Link, for saving me from the whatever that fuck that was. My husband should totally reward you by giving you lots of money and other cool shit that would look totally awesome in your room. Like, I don't know. Some of the lines were kind of funny. I guess just for that scene alone, because otherwise, you know, I think the rest of the episode's pretty stupid. Well, I guess Link's rant about cheese was also kind of funny, but, eh. I don't know. I don't like a lot of my Twilight Princess episodes, so I think they're just absolute garbage. Except for the Zant episode. But I still had fun with them, so, you know. And then comment number 3, question number 3 of comment number 16. What made you make douchebag Link a thing? I know you like douchebag characters, but what happened to make this specific character the horrible little shit he is today? Thanks for reading. Feel free to answer 1, 2, or even 3 of these questions, or none at all. That's fine, dude. I've answered all of them. So, yeah, to answer that, I mean, I guess, I feel like there's not much more I can say about Link. I mean, really, the original intention wasn't really to make him a complete psychopath. It was just, or a sociopath, where he doesn't give a flying fuck about, you know, anybody else or what anybody thinks or whatever. He hurts people and feels nothing, you know, that's what he is. I mean, I guess that wasn't the original intention, though. I mean, the whole thing was I just wanted to kind of make him sort of a comedic foil to Navi, and, you know, she was really high-strung and energetic and happy and stupid and optimistic, and so Link would just be sort of sarcastic and kind of a prick. But he wasn't supposed to be, like, a complete, like, he wasn't supposed to be, like, insanely, like, an asshole to, like, an insane degree. He was just supposed to be, you know, kind of a prick, but, you know, I guess I had, like, that throwaway line or something in episode 2 of Ocarina where it's like, Link's a sociopath, you know, and I guess, you know, it was just a throwaway line, but then I guess in the next episode I kind of kept playing that up, and, I don't know, I guess I just thought it was funny. I guess at the time I thought it would be funny if I, like, exaggerated that character trait to, like, a ridiculous degree, and then it just became, okay, he's like a practically inhuman fucking monster, you know, so I can't say it was like that's the best way I can explain it. I mean, it wasn't like something I really contemplated for a long time. I mean, I did put some thought into what the characters' personalities would be like, but, you know, it was just, I did what seemed like, what seemed funny at the time, and it was just amplify the whole douchebag thing to a ridiculous level. So that's that. Hopefully that answers your question. Comment number 17. Hey Xana, me again. I just thought I'd thank you for answering my other 2 questions, and also ask you another question. So here's my question. When you were in high school, did you ever do a thing when you were in around 10th grade where you go somewhere for a few weeks to a month to learn a certain job in animation? I didn't do something for like a month. I did a week-long program and this wasn't when I was in high school. I think this was after I was in high school. It was either the summer before I left for Baltimore, or it was the summer that I left for Baltimore, but I still had a lot of time before I had to make that transition. So, but yeah, it was either after high school, shortly after high school, or sometime during the summer, late in high school. It was only a 1-week program, but I did a week-long program at SCAD, Savannah College of Art and Design, and I remember that was one of the schools I was considering going to. And they did like a 1-week program, and you could take a few workshops, and it's basically like you taking classes there for a week and just to get a taste and see what it's like. So there was like a month-long thing, but I didn't have the time to dedicate to like a whole month to just that. But I did do an animation program, and I remember I got to work with like hand-drawn animation. And I remember at the time I did that, I had sort of a kind of an epiphany moment where I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this. I could do this forever. I mean, it seemed I was enjoying it more than the other people in the group, because everybody else in the group sort of like, well, it took for fucking ever to make like 1 second of animation. Fuck this. Like, we basically spent an entire week making like 1 to 2 seconds of animation or something, because, you know, hand-drawn animation takes forever. You're basically just redrawing every frame. You know, you're not moving shit around like you can in Flash. You know, you really have to. But I really had a fun time doing it. I thought it was awesome. I don't know if I'm as passionate about animation as I used to be after I came out of that program, so I don't know. It was cool though. I enjoyed it. so yeah, I did do something like that. It wasn't for a month, but it was, yeah, I kind of did something like that. I remember really loving it, but yeah, for some reason I haven't felt too motivated in the arts department. I haven't drawn I haven't drawn, I don't draw a lot these days, but again, well, I'm getting back into Flash animation, so I will be getting back into that, but, you know, with that aside, up until now, I haven't really thought much about drawing or doing stuff. But, yeah. Comment number 18. Hi, Xana. Do you have any tips or tricks on how to overcome a severe case of writer's block? And was there any point in scripting the Zelda Abridged Series that was particularly rough? I guess, yeah, again, I said this every time somebody asks for advice, please do take what I say with a grain of salt, because at the rate I was getting videos out, you know, every few months, obviously writer's block was not something I'd exactly mastered in terms of dealing with. So, yeah, I'm not the best at dealing with writer's block, but I'll give you what advice I can. I mean, if I've learned anything, I mean, I've had to have learned, I guess, a few things over the past 4 more years doing this, so I think my best advice to you would be just do whatever you have to do to get started, and then once you've gotten started, then the writer's block, that the hardest thing to do is to begin, and then once you begin, you can just kind of keep going from that. You basically just want to get the gears turning in your head. Like, I guess I'll use an example. Like when I was, I guess this will answer your second question too about was there any point that was rough in terms of scripting. I guess this would be a point. So I guess I can answer your second question while also answering your first, sort of. When I had to do episode 9 of Majora's Mask, I had already known like months in advance that episode 9 was going to be my last episode, and that after this I wasn't planning on doing Zelda Abridged parodies anymore. So I kind of knew this was going to be the last parody I was gonna, Zelda parody or Zelda Abridged parody I was gonna make, and I wanted to go out on a high note. I didn't want it to suck, so there was kind of a little bit of, there was some pressure. I knew it was going to be longer than the other episodes, as is usually the case with my finales, and I knew. So there were some expectations, and I'm sure I didn't meet all the expectations. Some people wanted to see a fierce deity thing, and that they didn't get that, but that. But that being said, but understandably, there's a lot of pressure for me to make that a good episode. So, getting started was kind of it was kind of tough because I didn't know where to begin. I'm like, okay, where do I even start? This is the finale to the series. There's some expectations. I'm not going to be making another one again. I don't want to end it on a shitty episode. So, and I spent a bunch of weeks just kind of thinking over it. Like I don't even know where to begin with this. And basically, the point where I finally stopped worrying about the fucking script and actually just started getting started on it, or actually making progress on it, is when I finally said, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna write this like I would Twilight Princess and just not give a shit. And what I meant by do it like I would Twilight Princess is, back in Twilight Princess, I didn't give a flying, I didn't have as many followers, so there wasn't as much pressure to make it a quality video, so I just kind of do whatever, and I wouldn't proofread it or I wasn't putting nearly as much effort, and there wasn't nearly as much stress in producing a decent final product. So with Twilight Princess, I just sort of write whatever, like, yeah, and not really think about it too much. Well, I'd think about it, but not to the degree I do now. So basically, I thought, you know what, whatever. I'm just gonna start. I'm gonna write it, even if it's shit. That's okay. I think the best thing I could, because what happened is I started out, and I think the original script I started with was really stupid. Like, there was a whole scene like with a bunch of poop jokes in it. It was like really bad, but the whole point is, like, it gave me somewhere to start. At least through doing that, I was able to figure out how I wanted to sort of organize the scenes, like what happens in each scene, which characters are talking to what, and then from that I was able to just keep tweaking the script until it was at a point where I'm like, okay, I'm happy with this. And I think the best. So I guess the best motto you could, if I have any advice to offer, you can take away from this is, what you start with doesn't matter. All that matters is the final product. So even if you're like, what I currently have sucks, I don't have any good ideas, just start writing. Just get the fuck started, because once you finally because that's the only way you're going to start thinking about it. That's the only way you're going to get the ideas flowing. That's the only way you're going to get scenes written, is if you start thinking about it. You're not just going to sit around watching internet videos and suddenly be like, just like sitting like an idiot, like, no, eating popcorn. I got it! You're not, that usually does not tend to happen. More often than not, once you get started, you start thinking, oh, hey, wait, this would be a funny idea. Hey, this would also be a funny idea. So that's my advice. Don't worry too much about where you start. Just focus on the final, you know, all that you need to worry about is the final product. But yeah, just get started. That's the hardest part. Well, I mean, writing the script is the hard part too, but you know, but getting started can be, you gotta get going. Whatever you need to do to get that process started. So sorry, I hope that answers your question. Scrolling down, 2 more questions to go. Hopefully I've answered all the questions well so far. Throat's starting to kill. My throat always kills me after doing these. My throat feels so weak today. Comment number 18. Oh no, wait, I already answered comment number 18. Sorry. Comment number 19. Which of the side quests did you find most fascinating or interesting in Majora's Mask? I was genuinely surprised. I think if there's one moment in Majora's Mask that stands out for me, it's the I guess it would be the Romani missions, be it to escort her to safely to the milk bar or to defend the house from aliens. I mean, yeah, the fact that there's fucking like aliens in a Zelda game is interesting in and of itself. You know, you're kind of mixing the fantasy thing with like weird sci-fi shit. So that was a weird collision of genres, you know. But there's a very powerful emotional moment though in that side quest where and it's sort of what made me appreciate how dark Majora's Mask's storyline really is, especially compared to a game like Ocarina of Time with such a like really by the numbers, you know, traditional story where it's just Ganondorf bad, you save princess, you know, like pretty generic stuff. But so I guess, you know, you wouldn't expect to see a lot of depth or, you know, a lot of dark themes explored in a video game, especially one where with the game that came before it was just, you know, very standard storybook stuff. But there's like a scene that really stood out to me, and it's very sad, extremely fucking sad, because all the characters in the game are coping with death and the moon crashing. You know, I mean, hopefully, yeah, you save them at the end of it, but yeah, when you do the Romani's Mask mission, at the end of it, there's a scene where if you walk into the barn, you can see Romani and her older sister. Oh, sorry, did I say Romani was the older sister by accident? Sorry, I can't remember what the older sister's name is. Crimea, I think, or Creamy. So I don't know why. Anyways, Crimea. I'm just gonna pronounce it that way. I don't know how the shit's pronounced. It's all done in text. I can pronounce it however the fuck I want. Where she's sitting with her sister, and basically, you know, she said, you know, she's letting her little sister drink Chateau Romani, which is basically booze. And she's basically getting her little sister drunk, just so that, you know, when the moon finally crashes and they all die, at least her little sister won't, you know, be aware of what's going on, and she won't be scared. And that's so fucking depressing. That's like such a depressing. That's some heavy shit though. That I mean, for a Zelda title. So I guess that scene really stood out. So if anything, the Romani Ranch stuff is really cool. If just for that moment alone, you know, a lot of dark shit. Comment number 20. The last comment. So hopefully I've done a good job so far. We're finally coming to a close. This is I think the last of the water. One last drink for good luck. Shit, some of it went down the wrong. Dang it! I had an extra drink of that water for good luck, but then I end up choking on that shit. Damn it! I made it harder for myself to talk now. I was completely counter to what I was going for. All right, I'm gonna answer this last one. Comment number 20. Hello. Have you ever thought of making characters? Ones you've made up, be they homages to old favorites, returning characters, or new beasts entirely, play video games. It would be a way to continue the channel without fading into the already overpopulated gaming channel cliche, as you would be carving your own niche within it. I wouldn't say it's not a... Well, okay, I wouldn't say... I get what you're saying, and I've actually got this question a few times, and a couple of people thumbed this one up, so I figured it was worth answering for that reason alone. I wouldn't say it's not exactly, because this has been done before. I mean, I know Little Karibo and Team 4-Star has done something similar, you know, with a Two Saiyans Play channel and with Little Karibo's Obey My Rod channel. The reason is, well, if, I don't plan on letting my Xanauzumaki channel die, that's for sure. I don't plan on letting that happen, unless I just don't have any ideas for anything else. But, you know, I'm hoping that I do. I mean, but no, have I ever thought about having those types of characters play video games? I've thought about it, but it seems like the thing... Well, first issue I have with that is it seems like the thing that would be kind of funny at first, but then after a while it would just get kind of obnoxious. You know, because one thing I kind of enjoy, like, at least when I watch a show like Game Grumps or something, I'm watching the show because I like the personalities of the characters, but one thing I like about them is that they're, like, super honest and genuine on the show. You know, and that's something I kind of enjoy about Let's Plays. I kind of hate it when the person in the Let's Play is, like, playing a role or putting on a character. That kind of just bothers me. Like, when, like, you know, I hate Let's Players who, like, pretend they're really angry or pretend they're upset. Little Karibo aside, because again, I actually do like Little Karibo's Merrick Let's Plays, but the thing with him is, like, he actually, and I guess that brings up the second point. The only reason I would ever have to do a Let's Play channel would be if it was comparable to what Little Karibo's doing with his Merrick Let's Plays, but it's very clear from watching his videos that he doesn't just do that on a whim. He obviously plans this stuff and does the audio ahead of time. Now, maybe he doesn't necessarily script it or something, but he's at least thinking through it before he says, you know, he does the audio commentary. I mean, otherwise he wouldn't be able to have, you know, Bakura talking in the fucking background, you know, so obviously he put some planning into it. So that would mean, so yes, if I were to do videos, it would have to be on that same level, but at the same time, I don't know if I want to dedicate that much effort into, like, doing a Let's Play video, you know? I'm not really that passionate about the whole Let's Play thing, and I don't really... I don't know, I think it would get obnoxious after a while. I'd rather see people just be themselves, and I don't think I'm funny enough to just be myself and be funny. And secondly, even if I were to do a character without it being obnoxious, I'd have to do it the way Little Karibo does it, but I don't know if I want to put that much effort into making a Let's Play video. I'd rather just make funny videos. You know? I'd rather just do funny videos that are actually, that, you know, I just don't want to do a gaming channel. Plain and simple. Unless I came up with some weird, unique way in which my channel would be somehow different from other gaming channels, but unless I felt like I could do something unique with the premise, I don't see myself doing that. It just seems like a lot of effort to put into something that I really don't want to do. But I understand why people would want me to do that, or why they would ask me to do that, so... hopefully I answered your question. I guess that's it. Thanks guys for, thanks for sticking around this long if you have. Again, I'm sorry for this video being late. Like I said, I felt a little crappy the past few days. I guess this will be the last one I do for a while. Hopefully the next time I post a video, it'll be on my Xanauzumaki channel, and it'll be something that requires actual effort, on my part, and that actually, you know, that's actually not just me rambling incoherently to a webcam. So hopefully you'll be enjoying that. And I guess I'll see you guys later. If not that, maybe more animation tests or other stuff, or just random stuff that I'll put on my secondary account, maybe. I honestly don't know what I'm doing next, but it's probably not going to be this. But anyways, it's been fun. Thanks for asking your questions, and take care.